You can find me voguing down the double yellow lines that divide the extraordinary from the norm. I am walking like a lion in full throttle because I found God in myself and I love her fiercely.
You were just looking at Groove, and that is a performance that also Paule Turner, the associate professor and chair of the Department of Theater and Dance at Rowan University, one of our higher ed partners, is in. Paule, how are you?
Good, really good, actually. I love this weather today.
Yeah, we are taping in late fall 2022. It'll be seen a little bit later. It'll probably be snowing by the time this is seen. Let me ask you this, Paule. Can we go back a little bit before we talk about your work at Rowan? You're 16, you're born and raised in Richmond, Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
You get to Philly at what point?
I came to Philly in 1994. Right out of undergraduate school, I came to Philadelphia. I wanted to live in Philly, and therefore I moved here, and then I continued my education in Philadelphia.
And you become an active member of the Philadelphia dance community, 1994 to 2006, top 25 to watch in Dance Magazine in 2020. You were known as Philly's most, quote, madcap movement artist. But I got to ask you this. You got a great quote here that Abby, our producer, shared with me. I want to share with you. They didn't know what to expect from me. I could have looked at my situation being young, black, gay performer, a young black and gay performer as three strikes, but since no one could clearly define any one of those three, it gave me power to constantly keep everyone guessing. Sir, please explain that, because that is a motivating message for everyone.
Yes, as I often talk with my students, I communicate to them that, art is about a point of view, and always working to shift that point of view all the time. And, like I said in the quote, all of these things could have been thought of as X's against what I'm trying to do. But since they aren't clearly defined by anyone, therefore gave me lots of space to constantly show my point of view and proceed in what I was doing. As an artist, I feel like I always want to keep people guessing, never, because that's the point of modern art. The moment that it becomes an accepted symbol, you must challenge it.
There's going to be a graphic up right now that identifies a series that that's been launched just recently called The Arts Connection. See the graphic up, go on our website to find out more about past editions of The Arts Connection. But I want to ask you, Paule, dance as part of the larger Arts Connection, for you, at what age did the dance, it's not a bug, but a thing, when did it hit you and how?
In 10th grade in Richmond, Virginia, in high school, my art teacher, visual art teacher, decided to take us on a field trip to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, where we watched a rehearsal going on with a duet with two students and renowned Professor Chris Burnside. And it was from that moment. At first, I was a little bit chuckled that, you could major in dance at the university. How ridiculous. But then I saw these two and I just thought, as ridiculous as it sounds, I found what I was going to do. And then they gave me tickets to that evening's performance. I sat in the front row. I skipped all the way home, so excited as a high school student, figuring out, oh, this is what I want to do. And it's been ever going ever since. I would say that at that concert, there was a young African-American dancer, Reginald Ellis Crump, who became my mentor, dear friend, my inspiration. But I saw him perform, create, as well as perform in faculty work and student work. And I knew right then exactly what I wanted to do.
First of all, thank you for sharing that very personal side of you. Well, I'm curious about this. Our daughter is 12 and into dance. I mean, loves it, and I've watched her grow. But it's highly competitive, meaning she wanted to be part of a competitive, who's got the medals, I've got my own view on that, but that's another story. But I'm thinking about your students at Rowan. You and your colleagues in your department are not about competing, but go ahead, because I can see you shaking your head already, because I try to tell our daughter, it's not about the medal. to help all of us understand that the arts connection, the arts, particularly dance, not about the medal.
Well, I don't hate on anyone's hustle. So therefore, there is dance as sport. And here at the university, there's where that distinction comes in of when you compete, you're sport. When you're not competing, you are, as we would say, exploring dance as art. And they're both valid. And they could also, with a very informed point of view, can intersect. I mean, as Martha Graham says, we are athletes of God. And there is that sense of physical, and also with dance as art, your competition is with yourself. You can only get better. You can only get better by doing. So we don't sort of, shine light or lesser on one than the other, but making sure our students are clear on what they want to do. We have a number of students who've danced with the New Jersey Devils, the Eagles, as well as aiming for the Rockettes or managing Alvin Ailey, working in their public relations office. So it's about both. You can have both, because I think you compete with yourself, but we are here to, evoke response, no medal. Responses. That's the only thing we can aim for is reaction.
So I'm curious about this. At Rowan, again, one of our higher ed partners, the place for dance in higher education, particularly going into 3 years of COVID?
I think there should be really clear consideration of why would you study dance and other art forms at the university level. It has to be beyond getting into shows, because there's a whole nother method of that. You can get in line in New York, Atlantic City, everywhere for that. So we're here to mine the intellectual pursuit of what we're doing. There's more jobs within our field besides center stage, and there's the creators, the curators, the producers, the stage managers, all of those spaces. I'm gonna, COVID to a certain degree was a blessing.
So?
Well, we had to start listening and seeing differently, which is very powerful for artists to practice. And when things stay the same, we lose that skill. Change is important, but the most difficult. And as artists, we need to explore that constantly. So the universe, the atmosphere was helping us with this. We did not stop. We kept creating. We did virtual performances. We all became amateur film artists with classes. I saw our students dancing in garages, bathrooms, kitchens, bedrooms. Again, here's our art students exploring space. And also being at home, you had to rely on what you knew and understood to translate through that screen. Again, getting the artist to think and not just rely on external. So it was a very powerful time, and I'm constantly urging our students to remember this, remember what we learned from it.
Paul, I want to thank you for joining us. Paule Turner is Associate Professor and Chair of the Department of Theater and Dance at Rowan University. Professor, I cannot thank you enough. You honor us by your presence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed talking with you.
You got it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Summit Health, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, PSE&G, Newark Board of Education, and by PSEG Foundation. Promotional support provided by Meadowlands Chamber and by New Jersey Monthly.
New Jersey is home to the best public schools in the nation, and that didn't happen by accident. It's the result of parents, educators, and communities working together year after year to give our students a world-class education, no matter the challenge. Because parents and educators know that with a shared commitment to our public schools, our children can learn, grow, and thrive. And together, we can keep New Jersey's public schools the best in the nation.